Ellis Island, the arrival. Story. The trip across the Atlantic Ocean was rough. The ships were crowded and dirty, so most passengers were very tired when they arrived in New York Harbor. One of the first things they saw was the Statue of Liberty, which has stood on its own island in the harbor since 1886. People would cheer when they spotted this famous symbol of America. Some would weep with joy as the ship passed by it. Health officers would board the ship in the harbor and look for signs of diseases. If the ship passed their inspection, doctors then would check the health of first and second class passengers on the ship. These lucky few were processed quickly and could leave the ship when it docked at New York City. But third class passengers often would wait for hours or days until a smaller ferry boat took them to Ellis Island for immigration processing. Did you know a 15-year-old girl was the first Ellis Island immigrant? A 15-year-old girl was the first Ellis Island immigrant. The first person to go through immigration processing at the Ellis Island station was a 15-year-old girl named Annie Moore. As the New York Times reported, the rosy-cheeked Irish girl came to America with two younger brothers. Their parents were already in New York waiting for them. Only 75% of a ship's passengers went to Ellis Island. About 3/4 of a ship's passengers were typically taken to Ellis Island. The others were cleared immediately for entrance into the United States and went through customs in New York City. Immigrants spot the Statue of Liberty as they arrive in New York Harbor. The Statue of Liberty was dedicated on Liberty Island in New York Harbor in 1886. It became a famous symbol of America for arriving immigrants. The Statue of Liberty seen from the deck of a ship. Passengers wait on the ships for a barge to take them to Ellis Island. Passengers in first class often did not have to step foot on Ellis Island. After an onboard medical inspection, they went straight to Manhattan to disembark. The oral history of Lawrence Meanwald from Poland. Lawrence Meanwald recalls coming to America from Poland in 1920 at age 6. His family traveled in steerage. Meanwald describes the ship, the sleeping arrangements, the food, and seeing the Statue of Liberty for the first time. Primary source.
Okay, now we got on the boat. Of course, we went steerage. Steerage meant a horrible experience, but to me, as a youngster, I guess it was fun. We slept in double-decker beds and bunks. My mother had a double-decker bunk, and my father had a double-decker bunk with myself on the top. I guess my sister slept with her, and food was not good. The conditions were terrible, and the food was so bad that my father and I would sneak up to an upper class. They were barricaded. You weren't allowed to go, but we snuck up there, and we found garbage cans on the deck in the corner. And the garbage of the first class passengers were placed there, and the sailors used to throw pieces out for the gulls, and we would steal from the garbage can pieces of meat, even though we were kosher, but we were so hungry that we took them.
So what's it like coming into New York Harbor finally?
Well, one morning there was a complete rumble, which got louder and louder and louder. We couldn't identify it when it was. It was very early in the morning, maybe 6, maybe 7 in the morning. I have no idea, but it was very, very early in the morning at daybreak. And we heard this tremendous rumble, which got louder and louder and louder. So my father and I, we dressed immediately and we ran out to the deck. And there were people of all denominations, some on their knees making the sign of the cross, Jews in their prayer shawls, as we were passing the Statue of Liberty. It was the first time I saw it. It was a great sight.
Landing at Ellis Island. In this footage from 1903, immigrants arrive in New York Harbor and step onto American soil for the first time. Immigrants landing at Ellis Island. Immigrants landing at Ellis Island created by Thomas A. Edison.